Midwest Modified A-Main rolling out onto the racetrack. Let's set them up for you. Andy Austin, car number 72, will be on the outside of row number 1. And I believe that's Billy Spillman in the 63 car. Kind of hard to see that number.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Have any idea who the 7 car is? Kyle Bates up on the front row in the Bubba's Barbecue number 74 machine. No. Scott Campbell, your track champion from last year, car number 83. Jeremy Hazel in car number 15.
That could be Mark Simon.
Mark Simon in car number 7, skipped over him. He'll start on the inside of row number 2. Jeremy Lahey in car number 20. Jamie Petty in car number 43. Craig Yeoman in car number 84. Ken Walker back there in car number 51. Trent Robinson in car number 27, starting deep in the field. And I tell you, keep your eye on about 3 cars that could be a factor before this is over that's starting way in the back. Talking about John Lankton in car number 35. Donny Aust, car number 34. Tim Petty, car number 228. Those cars are good hot rods. They just got a long way to go. We'll see if they can get there. McClellan also showed pretty good speed earlier, and Dakota Maggard as well, as we get ready to go green off turn 4. Oh, Spillman sideways in front of the field. 4 cars caught up in that incident. Billy Spillman going around in front of the field, headed back to the pit area. Jeremy Hazel caught up in that. Craig Yeoman and Trent Robinson, I believe, also caught up in that. Well, I tell you what, you just cringe when you see the pole sitter go around in the first corner, because you know an entire field of cars is headed straight towards him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's about what you would expect right there. About 4 or 5 cars making contact. We've seen a couple of cars go back to the pit area already, and man, you look at the damage on the Campbell machine right there, the 83. Door caved in right there.
Looks like Scott Campbell able to continue, though. Jeremy Hazel headed back to the pit area. Spillman has already gone back. Dakota Maggard. Is that Dakota Maggard? I believe it is, up there on the top side of turn number 2. And don't believe he was involved in that. Not sure what's going on. And just got word that they were having carburetor problems in the heat race earlier. In the B main, that is, earlier. And so that may be a continued problem with the 156.
All right, we're good things lined up once again. We're going to have a complete original restart. There's so many cars involved in that deal right there. We're just going to clean it up, go complete restart. As we look for a green next time around. Casey's General Store, once again, the sponsor for the Midwest Modifieds in the 2018 season. Want to thank them for being along with us this year. If you have a chance, go by your local Casey's and support them and let them know that you appreciate their support of the racing here in Springfield.
You know, Casey's General Store does a lot of support of racing, not only here on the local level, but of course the USMTS Series, Casey General Store, a huge part of that. And so the company based in Iowa, which is steeped in dirt track racing there as well, just does a great job of supporting racing on the local level. And we really appreciate Casey General Store and everything they do for racing, not only here, but throughout the country.
All right, we're going to try this one more time. Right now, your pole sitter is going to be Mark Simon in the number 7 car doing double duty tonight. Also behind the wheel, the number 23 late model coming up here just a little bit later on.
Simon brings him in with Kyle Bates on his outside. We're going green. Kyle Bates gets a good run coming off turn number 2, moves to the inside of Mark Simon. That's the battle for the lead. Up on the top side of the speedway, it's Andy Aust trying to get a run.
Off at turn number 4. Looks like we're going to get this lap in clean. Everybody across the start-finish line. Aust way up high in that number 3 spot.
Scott Campbell in a heavily damaged car, car number 83, able to hold on to second right now. No problems with speed on that 83 car.
Off at turn number 2, we got caution over here in turn 4. It's going to be the number 27 car of Robinson going around.
Mark Simon able to get away a little bit, but I tell you what, Scott Campbell looking strong in that beat up 83 car. No hurting for speed with that machine. Scott Campbell, a 2-time track champion here at the Springfield Raceway, and a super nice guy to beat, or to boot, I should say. Not to beat. I guess you could beat him too if you wanted to. No, he's a good guy, Scott Campbell. If you have a chance to meet him, be sure and do that. Great competitor and does a nice job here in this Midwest Modified division.
Guess not. We know we talk about meet and greeting these drivers. You know, it's kind of different. It's not like it used to be. I remember back growing up with the racing that the crowd stayed around for a long time afterwards, and you go to the pits and visit with the drivers and all of that. Seems like we've kind of lost that over the years, as we do have a separation between the pits and the grandstands. But these drivers enjoy having the fans come over and talk to them and getting to know them, and it's a lot of fun to get to know these drivers, especially the ones you root for. That car is ugly. That number 83 right there, I tell you what, that is punched in pretty good, but as you said, don't look like it's hurting the performance at all. Aust is going to start up on the top side in that number 72 car. Bates back there in that second row. Bates has been pretty strong tonight in that number 74.
John Yeoman trying to make his way forward, about halfway through so far. Still got a long way to go. As we get ready to go green, coming off turn number 4, Mark Simon leads him in, green in the air.
And one car we really hadn't talked about too much yet, and I think we probably better. The number 99 car of Brown. Jerry Brown started deep in the field. He is in the top 5. In fact, Jerry Brown, the number 99 car, in the number 4 spot. Here we go into turns 3 and 4. Simon still your leader in the 7. Caution is out. Once again, we got 2 cars hooked together.
So caution coming out one more time as we got a spinner down in turn number 2. Caution on the speedway. And looks like that is Tim Petty that went around down in turn number 2.
What car is on the 99? He started like, he was one of the last cars.
Talking about the one to run in the, oh, I see it, I'm forward.
Yeah. He was one of the last cars other than the
Yeah, talking about that 99 car, he indeed is on a tear. Jerry Brown up to the number 4 spot. We'll see where it shakes out when they get him lined back up. We go to the last completed lap, so not sure exactly where he'll restart, but we know for sure that he is up into the top 5, running strong in that 99 machine. Mark Simon has been out front since the second start of the race after the first melee, but the Dallas County driver so far able to hold serve over Andy Aust in car number 72 and Scott Campbell in car number 83. Famous for Mark Simon and Heidi. Yep. I got buddy with school up there, just good friends up there. They still, I guess they go out to see them.
All right, going off the speedway, the 228, Tim Petty, tough break for him. And hate to see that for Tim Petty. He's been racing with us quite a bit here lately and comes from a good racing family, that Petty family. And they have supported the Springfield Raceway pretty well. Sam Petty, Jamey Petty, and Tim Petty, all 3 of those guys race here from time to time. And they are not related to Richard, but they'd have just about as much racing tradition, especially right here in the Ozarks.
All right, getting ready to go green with Mark Simon on point. Off turn number 4, green in the air. Mark Simon washing up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, able to keep the lead for now. Andy Aust right on his back bumper.
Here they come in turns 3 and 4. Company is coming. These guys are on the charge. Campbell back to the number 3 spot.
And right now looks like the preferred lane down the bottom of the speedway. Scott Campbell, in fact, trying to make the pass on Andy Aust down there, not able to get it done.
Aust holding on to that number 2 spot right now behind Mark Simon. And now Brown has lost some spots. He's moved back 2 spots. Lankton up to the number 5 spot.
Mark Simon protecting that bottom lane around the racetrack. Has a little bit of a gap right now, about 4 or 5 car lengths back to Scott Campbell, who makes the pass on Andy Aust. Aust trying to go to the top side, trying to find a racing lane around the leader. You gotta pass them where they ain't, and right now Mark Simon holding that bottom lane very well. And Aust trying to find a racing lane, not working as of yet, as Mark Simon continues to lead by 5 car lengths.
And now we got a new car on the move. That is the number 3 car, Matt Dorssom. Matt Dorssom, the CB3, is coming to the front. And as the caution comes out, it is for the number 27 once again, Trent Robinson.
And Dennis, I tell you what, John Lankton is also on the move as well, as he is up into the top 5 in car number 35.
We're getting set up here for a great finish.
Flyers? Yeah. You got it. So Mark Simon out in front of Scott Campbell. Dollison in that number 3 spot. Andy Aust 4th, John Lankton 5th, Kyle Bates 6th, Brown 7th. Cars all lined up 2 by 2 behind leader Mark Simon. They'll come off turn number 4 looking for the green flag. We got it. Here we go. Back to the green flag racing. Dollison up on the top side of the speedway. He's got a run on the 83 car. They'll go side by side into turns 3 and 4.
Here they come off turn number 4. Door to door for the number 2 spot. Simon still holding on.
Mark Simon trying to get to the end of the Turkey Bowl and take home one of those beautiful turkeys.
Big trouble over in turn 1 and 2. It's going to be Bates and Garrett Thompson, the 929, tangled up over in turns 1 and 2.
They just taken the 2 to go when that happened over there in turns 1 and 2, so we'll have another restart. And you got to believe that this may be a break for Mark Simon. I know he wants to get this thing over with, and he did have a pretty good lead, but out front by himself, it leaves the second and third place driver to battle side by side. Might allow him to get away as what should be a green-white checker.
Yeah, and it seems as if especially the 3 car, the more laps that 3 car runs, the faster he gets. And so this probably not what he wants to see, but we'll just see how things shake out here as we will look for a final green, hopefully a final green, after we get this caution cleaned up.
Scott Campbell right behind leader Mark Simon as they continue to work on the melee over in turn number 2. This is the first feature of the night for the Turkey Bowl. And I believe the late models will be coming out next. The mini late models will run last on the show tonight. Right now trying to get Kyle Bates loose from that Thompson machine, and they just did get that done right there. Damage to both of those cars looks like will be terminal for the night, as Kyle Bates brings the 74 car down to the inside of the speedway. Thompson able to roll away. We'll see if he stays out on the racetrack or continues on, as the lineup should be close to ready to go. We'll double him up and be ready to go here very shortly and finish Turkey Bowl race number 1. As Dennis mentioned, Mark Simon will be back out in a late model coming up a little bit later on. Mark just likes to race. Not uncommon for him to bring 2 or even 3 cars to the racetrack. Tonight bringing 2. He'll be in the late model number 23 a little bit later on this evening. Yes, sir. And I just had received information that coming up at intermission that we will be passing a helmet through the crowd for Keith Pratt and his family. Lost their house to a fire last night, lost everything. Here we go, coming off turn number 4. Mark Simon bringing him in, green flag in the air.
And good side-by-side battle over there as they come off of turn number 2. Here we go through turns 3 and 4.
Mark Simon bringing him into turns 3 and 4. He got a couple of hot rods right on his back bumper. Jerry make that John Lankton up into the number 4 position. Scott Campbell trying to get a run on the 7 car. Got a good run that time. And caution coming out.
And this is going to be for Ron McClellan up there in turn number 2, the 73 car dead in the water. And that's going to slow things down one more time.
So Mark Simon's still out in front, and misled you a little while ago. I thought we were down to a couple of laps to go, but obviously still a few laps. Ron McClellan with problems, got hooked up with the car here on the front stretch, and you could see the damage to that 73 car. And looks like he will get the hook and help off the racetrack. And his night will be over. John Lankton up to the number 4 spot. We've been documenting his move towards the front of the field, doing a nice job in that 35 car. Quietly, methodically moving his way forward. And McClellan going to get help off the racetrack. All right, lineup is set to go. We'll get them ready to roll once again as we get the 73 car cleared from the speedway. And looks like problems for Jamey Petty here on the front stretch. Not sure what we got going on here. And it looks like a lot of damage for that 43 car. And looks like he'll be headed for the pit area as well. All right, so we'll get Jamey Petty a little bit of help here. I don't understand why these guys can't pull their car to the infield instead of stopping right here on the front stretch for the entire race.
Well, we don't have anything else to do. Watch them do that. I've been critical at times about if for some reason he had to start deep in the field. I've seen it in this. Well,
I bet if you pushed him hard enough, I bet it would slide all the way back.
He's got a good car. He's got talent. Just take the time. I know that's probably easier said.
All right, so we got a little bit of break in the action. Is Jamey Petty not able to get down to the infield there, so we'll wait for a tow truck to get us hooked up here and back to racing action.
All right, so tough break for tonight for the Petty crew, as we've already seen Tim Petty have problems. And now it's the 43 car of Jamey Petty having problems as well.
And Dennis, once again, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we will be passing a helmet or maybe 2 or 3 helmets through the grandstands coming up here in just a few minutes. And this will be for Keith Pratt and his family. As we mentioned, Keith, our flagman here every Saturday night, lost his house in a house fire last night and lost everything that they had. And a very, very tough break for them. And so as a racing family, we're going to help them out and glad to do so.
All right, we'll get things cleaned up here and try to get this Midwest Mod feature finished up.
All right, Mark Simon, I bet, is anxious to get going. And, you know, on that last restart, a little bit high. Looked like did not get the start that he had been getting. So we'll see if he does a little bit better this time. Scott Campbell, you know, would like to get up there and do business with the leader. Dollison also on that outside lane. Got a good hot rod. He's in a good position, and don't count out John Lankton. Off turn number 4, Simon getting a run down the banking, down to the start-finish line. Here we go.
Little shot to the rear from the number 3 car to the 7, but they stay straight. Here we go. We got a race for the lead. Campbell going to the bottom side.
Scott Campbell going for the lead off turn number 4. Here comes Simon fighting back, not going to be able to get him, and Scott Campbell is out in front.
John Lankton down on the bottom now, looking for that number 2 spot.
John Lankton up to the number 2 position, trying to run down the leader.
Dawson over Simon for the number 3 spot. Simon going to the back. Yep.
Mark Simon obviously got problems in that 7 car as the laps continue to wind down. As Scott Campbell moving away. John Lankton trying to chase him down. Turns 3 and 4, the top 2 running down on the bottom of the speedway.
Aust running in 4th and 5th. Donny and Andy. Meanwhile, up front, it's 3 cars. Right now, Scott Campbell has the lead.
Lankton able to close a little bit of ground on the leader, but he's going to have to go somewhere besides down on the bottom to make the pass, as Scott Campbell has got that bottom lane covered.
Here they come through 3 and 4 one more time. And the 3 car not running up there quite like he was before, challenging for the lead, but now we got a challenge for the lead from Lankton. Him and Campbell.
John Lankton getting a good run right here at the end of the race. 2 to go this time by.
2 to go, looking down on the bottom side. Lankton can't find anything there. He'll go up to the top of the speedway as they work through 3 and 4. Here comes Dawson.
Off turns 3 and 4 down to the white flag. One more time around. One final shot for someone to try to get that turkey trophy away from Scott Campbell. Nose to tail for the top 2.
Here they come into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Lankton's going to bring it around the outside.
Coming off turn number 4 down to the line. Scott Campbell will win it. John Lankton second, Dollison third. And Dennis Gibba called it John Lankton, and he is a good, clean racer. Of course, Scott Campbell is too, but he had an opportunity, had the inside lane going down into 3, but backed off. Not going to turn a guy for the win. Nice run there for John Lankton, and a great run for Scott Campbell, picking up the Turkey Trophy.
And I tell you what, there had to be doubts early on when Campbell was involved in that incident. Had to be doubts in his mind whether he'd even be able to compete at all for that Turkey Trophy, but he comes out on top, bent sheet metal and all.
Yeah, that kind of makes that bent sheet metal seem not so bad when you're able to pull it into victory lane, and he did her tonight. Got it done out on the racetrack. And our first Turkey Trophy going home with Scott Campbell. And there he is, coming out of the car, your first turkey trophy of the night, Scott Campbell. All right. And I believe we are taking a short intermission at this time. Once again, the guys will be passing around helmets here in the grandstands for Keith Pratt and his family. Keep that in mind. What's that, Ronnie?
Yeah, I mean, some of my main guys are going to redraw. Like obviously the D-Mods and the A-Mods, the top 8 are going to redraw for the starting spots.
Okay.
So some of the bigger names, they're not going to be there for right now.
I'm sorry to keep coming in here and messing with you
You're not
guys.
bothering us. We don't own anything.
It seems like you've got a little bit better notes here than anybody else can come up with.
I have nothing to accomplish. It's amazing, isn't it?
I remember the year that Clayton Delaney died. They said for the land